Hello Aquarius, Aquarius Rising and Aquarius Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card forecast for the week starting April 17th, 2017. And just a quick reminder for you guys, I am going to be putting up a special video this week all about the Venus shadow period now that Venus is going direct. You know, what the next couple of weeks are going to look like while she gets her bearings straight, and some leftover lessons and things like that for different families of signs, fixed, cardinal, mutable, you being one of the fixed, and what that can actually help you to understand a little bit more about this process is. And so you don't even have to wait very long for it. It's already recorded. I just got to edit it and get it up, so it should be up here fairly soon, so stay tuned for that. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com. So what is going on with your astrology this week, Aquarius? Well, in the very beginning of the week on Monday, we've got the Sun in your third house of communications, pacts, promises, and commitments, forming a gorgeous trine to Saturn, currently retrograde in your 11th house of friendships and social networking. And Saturn retrograde in your 11th house is basically trying to get rid of rules, policies, customs, codes of conduct that are actually doing more harm than good. And in this case, it has to do with friendship circles, networking circles, and how we actually communicate and conduct ourselves with these people. And with the Sun forming a trine to Saturn, you may be finding that you are getting away with calling something out, or maybe even starting to address or intervene in an issue that you know has become, well, let's just say a bit dysfunctional or even toxic. This will actually be welcomed with open arms. You may be feeling like it's not your place to call the situation out, but if you are a true blue friend, it actually is. So don't be afraid to do that. Later on this week, we've got the Sun moving into Taurus, into your 4th house of home and family, where it will connect to Mercury, currently retrograde in that area, in a very pleasant conjunction. And when Mercury retrograde and the Sun come together in this area, we're going to have an opportunity to sort of get back to, I guess you could say, happier times when it comes to your home life, whether it's with your family members, your relatives, your roommates. Maybe there's an opportunity for those of you who have been trying to maybe get a home, or move back to where you wanted to be before. We can reevaluate that and get that done right away. This could also be good news for those of you who work from home if you've been expecting some kind of payout or payback on money that you have invested into a home or a property or a home-based business. You could be actually looking at something quite lucrative as we get into Thursday and Friday. So what is going on with your cards this week? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of the Merciful One. And this card does talk a lot about what mercy, what forgiveness, and compassion really are. And this week it does talk about a need to pay attention to where, a lot of the times, when we get hurt by people, we wait for people to learn their lesson. We wait for people to suffer their bad karma. And mercy and compassion are actually the opposite of that. It's wishing to deny somebody their bad karma, to alleviate or relieve them of that. And that might seem kind of crazy, especially if you're still really pissed off at them. But with the Merciful One, it's also saying knowing what is best for a person, and being able to be honest with them, even if it may not necessarily be what they want to hear. Paying attention to the difference between actual helping and indulging. Because it may be an act of mercy to call somebody out when they're doing something that's doing them harm, or it may be an act of mercy to even stop somebody when they're trying too hard to make something up to us. So where do we really actually punctuate a negative situation correctly, and in a way that's better for everyone concerned, without having to get into, again, that Saturn retrograde energy of, unnecessary principles, unnecessary codes of conduct, unnecessary strict, codes, and all of those kinds of things, because this week it's all about getting closer to people and finally bringing out some peace. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we have the Moon card upright. And this card can be a little bit confusing. It can mess with our heads a little bit. So when it comes to work and employment situations, don't trust the first impression that you're necessarily getting, good or bad. Because we may find out that everything is exactly the opposite. You may go for a job interview and think that you bombed it, and you turned out everything's turning out just fine. You may get hired at a place that you think is totally perfect, but then we find out that no, not necessarily so. The Moon card upright is actually saying be careful about rushing to judgment in any situation, calling it good or bad, especially in a black and white sense, because you will be proven wrong. However, with the Moon card upright, it's also extremely important, and we do have Mercury retrograde anyway, not to be taking too many financial, I guess you could say, offers or things like that that are being put on the table too seriously. Because the Moon card upright is saying, given enough time, you will see what these are really all about. I think the Moon card, as far as your message, though, is basically saying it's time to allow yourself a bit of time, either with a new situation or with an existing situation, to let it play out, to reveal itself for the long haul. Nothing this week is going to be permanent, whether it's an impression, an arrangement, or even a schedule. And so whatever new agenda or new itinerary or new financial plan is put on the table this week, don't treat it like it's going to be there forever, because the Moon card upright says it will be subject to change. But who cares? Because with your air sector, when it comes to your communications, your friends, your relatives, the others in your life, we have the Ace of Pentacles upright. Something is made extremely solid on the financial front for you, and the Ace of Pentacles can often indicate, maybe even a wonderful work opportunity coming through a friend or a family member. The Ace of Pentacles could even indicate something long-term, a new income stream being offered your way that starts to pay out fairly quickly. This could be a new business opportunity working alongside a friend or a relative, or simply a referral. And even if you're not necessarily in the job market at this point in time, the fact that we have two cards pointing in this area, especially just in one small general weekly reading, does say you do need to entertain this option, just a little bit. For your challenge this week with fire, we have the Ten of Swords upright. Not an easy card to deal with. And you know me, I don't hold back. I'm not going to be like, we're just going to talk about dealing with stress. No, this is a shitty card. Because what this really does mean is being able to put an end to suffering, but it's a harsh, abrupt end to a harsh, abrupt situation. Now, usually when the Ten of Swords shows up as a challenge, you are the one enacting it. You are the one throwing all of these swords. This isn't actually happening to you. So I always draw some cards to kind of figure out what is happening in this area. Now, as far as what it is, we have the Hangman reversed. So there is sort of there's going to be a need for, a refusal to compromise on your part. A refusal to compromise maybe, resources, time, energy, effort, or a refusal to stay inactive. And we have a lot of focus with this Nine of Wands, the other clarifier, how it's going to affect you, about you being open about your true feelings, letting loose, letting it all out. We've got a lot of focus here with you actually calling somebody out, that Merciful One card. This could be an act of mercy, helping somebody end a terrible situation in their life. You may have to come forward and be honest about somebody's lifestyle, maybe somebody's social situation, maybe where somebody's doing a lot of wrong in their life. Sometimes that wake-up call can knock somebody flat on their ass. And it may be a challenge for you, Aquarius, to be the one to do that. Because it may be somebody close to you. Either way, it may be the right thing to do. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Six of Swords reversed. An old opportunity in love may be actually returning, or we may actually kind of develop the gumption or finally develop the courage to kind of experiment or try to maybe get closer to somebody that we have had a bit of an attraction or a bit of an intrigue with. And the Six of Swords reverse could be bringing somebody back into your life, or bringing that opportunity back into your life, whether somebody newly available or somebody even coming back from living a ways away. The Six of Swords reverse can also indicate, for those of you who are currently coupled, an opportunity to return to a better place with your partner. The Six of Swords reverse could talk about the two of you agreeing that we are no longer happy with maybe the jobs that we're in. We're going to go back and try and find a different career opportunity, a place that we were happier back when, or kind of reinvigorating an era that was actually better for us and our families. The Six of Swords reverse could be good news for those of you who are hoping a child or even a relative would be moving closer, because somebody is still coming back from the past. So that is your horoscope, Aquarius. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.